And we're live.
Good morning. My name is Billy Merritt, and if you don't know me by now, that's my fault. I'm going to make sure that as many people as want to, and maybe even if you don't want to, that you're going to know who I am, because I have some very important information to bring to you. My name is Billy Merritt, and I have the most effective product in the entire car business. Now, I also have a new idea that I have practiced at a couple of stores, and if you're a car dealer or you work at a car dealership, you're going to want to hear about this. It is the most effective, or the actually best ROI that you could possibly get for your money. What is it? I know you're asking that. Smith, ask me what it is.
What is it?
It's the one-day Facebook sales event. One day only. We ran this at a couple of stores, and this is a hit. It's going to be a hit for the next 10, 15, 20 people who try it. Then it'll get copied, and more people will start to do it. Here's how it works. We pick a Saturday. Why Saturday? Because that's always the biggest day in the car business. And then we start the ads the Sunday before that one-day event, one-day sales event. Why one day? Because we're going to staff it. We're going to bring some salespeople to your dealership to help you on that Saturday. We're going to set appointments Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. For 6 straight days, we're going to be setting appointments for the Saturday, for the one-day sales event. Very limited opportunity. Customers love it. Customers respond well. It's going to be cheaper because we're going to only have to staff it for one day. We're going to bring in some salespeople to help you facilitate this event, and you're going to sell 40 cars. Well, you know what? We don't. All you have to do is send me a message below if you want more information on it. I didn't have Smith prepared for the text number there, but we'll put it up there later. Just send me a message below if you want to find out more about the one-day sales event.
That's the right number, right?
There you go.
944-7432.
There you go. Text Billy right there. Text me at 904-944-7432, and I'll tell you more about the one-day sales event. Here's the coolest thing. I'm going to go out. I can't go to all of them, but I'm going to go on site for the one-day sales event. I can't get out of here for too long of a period, but I can do it for one day. And my sales team, my call center, they're going to set appointments all week long. We're going to come out on Saturday, and here's my favorite part of the car business. Smith, what do you think my favorite part of the car business is?
Your favorite part of the car business?
Yep.
Talking to customers?
Nope. Balloons.
Balloons. Okay.
If you don't have enough helium, I'm going to bring 3 tanks of helium. I'm going to bring, and I am an absolute balloon master. Okay. Everybody has their claim to fame. Mine is I am the best balloon master in the United States of America. We're going to build arches. We're going to build pods. We're going to do all kind of fancy things with balloons. Balloons sell cars, by the way. So if you're not ballooning up like a lunatic, you're missing the ball. I'll come out personally, and it doesn't matter where it's, as long as it's, we'll say from Houston up to Kentucky. I don't want to go up north yet. And all the way down to Key West. Wherever it is, I'll fly out on Friday. Make sure you have enough balloons. We'll balloon up. We're going to have the biggest one-day sales event you've ever had. I'm excited about this one. Can't wait to unveil where we're going for the first one-day sales event that I'm going to be at personally. I haven't staffed any events in over 3 years, me personally. We got Joey out there. We got Chad out there. We got Felipe out there. I'm going to go have a one-day sales event and show those guys that I still got it. Speaking of got it, money's very important. If you don't have some, you need to get some. Now, you hear us talk very often about investing and about business and about ROI, about Bitcoin and stocks and Robinhood. But there's some very basic concepts that you need to understand. Now, there's only 4 categories when it comes to finances that you need to know about. I'm going to step out of the way where you can see all 4 of them. Hey, like that, Smith, man.
If we could just push it over a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. So, if you are in business whatsoever, and by business, I mean if you're working or whether or not you're working, you fall in one of these 4 categories. You are either an employee or you are self-employed. And this S right here could also mean small business owner. And the B right here is big business owner. I'm going to explain the difference between these two. And then, of course, the investor. Why is this important? Because you need to know what the four categories are. Most people are employees. Everybody that works here, except for me, is an employee. As an employee, and I've been an employee for most of my life, as an employee, you trade your time for money. Now, that's a very good thing because you have to trade your time to get money. All right. It's very important to get money. How's the best way to get money? Get a job. Be productive. When you're an employee, you get paid for your time in most cases. You definitely have to sacrifice your time to get money. You're using your time. A lot of people talk about a 40-hour work week. So in that case, if you're a 40-hour employee, then you trade 40 hours of your week for a paycheck. Now, if you're on commission, which is a better case scenario, you still have to work a certain amount of hours, sometimes 40 or 60 hours to get your money. But the key to being an employee is to be productive. And the more productive you are, the more money you make, but you're still trading your time for money. Now, the next, you could call this a window pane. The self-employed, I like to call that one the actual small business owner. Because, Smith, can you close that door? I hear Paul out there coaching somebody, and I feel like he's coaching me because he's always coaching me when we're doing a show. But the self-employed or the small business owner is someone like me who has a small business with fewer than 100 employees. Now, we got up to 48 employees back during the prime time of the summer of 2020. We had 48 employees. That, to me, felt like a big business because there's so many people. More people make things more challenging, to say the least. But the key to being a small business owner is understanding that you still have to trade your time for money. In a small business, like we have about 20, we're about 20, 25 employees now. If I was to move out of the country for a long period of time, I have great employees, but when I come back, things would be very challenging, to say the least. So you still have to be very involved, very engaged, to be right in the middle of your business if you are a small business owner or self-employed. Now, the beautiful thing about being a small business owner as compared to just being an employee is you trade your time for money, but you also have employees that trade their time for their money and their time for your money. So if you have productive employees, they are actually trading their time for your money and your benefit. That's why it's very important to be very good to your employees, because they are sacrificing their time for your money. That's a better, in most cases, in my opinion, that's a better position to be in than to be only trading your time for your money. Now, to use a technical term, that is leverage. You are using other people's time and effort and productivity for your money. So I consider that a wonderful situation. And that's why I advise most people to consider being a small business owner. It gives you more freedom. When you punch a time clock or you trade your time for your money for another person, if you're the employee, you have freedom in the hours that you are not working. But when you're scheduled to work, you have to be there and you have to work. Now, most small business owners work more than the employees. So it's not like you get a whole lot of time freedom, but you do get the leverage of other people's efforts. You have your efforts and you have other people's efforts that's providing you money. This is a money show, so we're focusing on money. As an employee, the more you work, the more money you get. As a small business owner or a self-employed person, the more you work, the more money you get. And the more your employees work, the more money you get. So that's just a better position to be in. Provides more opportunity, more freedom, and more money. Why is there a difference between a small business owner and a big business owner? Again, You have employee, small business owner, not just self-employed, but a small business owner. And then you have big business owner. A big business owner is just that. It has more employees, so it's bigger. A big business also has a board of directors. A lot of times it has stockholders, whether they be public or private, but you have a president, a vice president, you have chairman of the board, you have board members. It's more structured. A big business owner has a business that is more structured. And in a big business situation, we just take one of the biggest, right? We just talk about Walmart. Walmart is mega big, one of the biggest companies in the world. They have a board of directors. They have a president, a vice president, a CEO, a CFO. Now, they're actually a publicly traded company. So I'm trying to think of a huge privately held company. In, let's just say, most of the big ones I know now are publicly traded. But let's just say that for this purpose, that Walmart is privately owned, that one person owned it. That's what I'm trying to get to. Let's say one person owned Walmart. For instance, in the beginning, it did. Sam Walton, he owned Walmart by himself. Okay. A big business, because it's so structured, the owner of that business can actually leave the country for a long time. And that business is going to continue to run as if he was there or she was there. And it won't be affected by the owner not being there, not very much at least. And that is different from the small business, because the small business, it is crucial that person be involved. I mean, Billy Merritt Marketing would not be Billy Merritt Marketing without Billy Merritt right in the middle of it all the time. Okay. Now, Walmart, there's thousands of stores all over the country, and they operate just fine, even though Sam Walton is no longer here. Okay. So the power of a big business is in the fact that it's so structured, and you have so many people that have job descriptions that they understand fully, and it runs like a machine. Okay. Day in and day out, it's so very structured, it's going to run like a machine. It's not dependent upon the leader of that company or the owner of that company. Now, for the owner, this means that she has more freedom than the employee or the small business owner. She can go on vacations, or she can go change the planet, change the earth any way she sees fit, and her big business will never miss a beat. Pretty much so. So this is even a more free position to be in, but it comes at a price. More people, more problems. You got hundreds or thousands of employees, man, you've got all kinds of things going on. So if you're a small business owner, I think you need to be scaling, and you need to be thinking about if you want to take your business all the way to a big business that has even stockholders, or that has tons of people involved. Because the more people you have involved, it comes more people, more problems. So some people totally skip the big business owner. Now, some people love the idea of being a big business owner, and they want, they thrive with 1,000 employees, and they can handle all that. It's an HR nightmare for a lot of people. So some people like to stay smaller. I don't believe in staying small. I believe if you're not scaling, you don't have a business. As a self-employed or a small business owner, basically you just own a job. As an employee, you have a job. If you're a small business owner and you're not scaling, you own a job. If you're scaling and you're trying to grow into a big business, then you have a business, and you're a business person, and you're an entrepreneur. My perfect scenario would be an exit strategy. You go from a small business owner to a big business owner, and you get one of the super big companies, you get their attention, and then you get many, many millions of dollars by selling out to them. That's an exit strategy. And a lot of people do that. I know people who started with very small businesses. I know one guy who started a bakery, and then he was selling his cookies to car dealerships, and then he created a call center, and he sold out to a huge global company for $600 million. That's an awesome exit strategy. Then you have a problem. You have all this money, this cash, and you need to know what to do with it. So let's talk about the grand kahuna, the person that is the apex in the cash flow quadrant, the investor. Now, when you become an investor, you no longer, if you're a full-time investor, you no longer work for your money, but your money works for you. You put your money to work and your money works for you. And that means you have total freedom of your total time freedom, and you can do anything that you want to do with your time. Good morning, Robert Brooker. Thank you for joining us. My We portfolio is diversifying using profits. Okay. So he's using investor terms right there. So he's an investor. Now, this is the secret. This is the part you need to understand about the cash flow quadrant. Wherever you are, whether you're an employee, whether you're a small business owner, whether you're a big business owner, or you're an investor, you need to know that it's never too early to become an investor. Okay. You can be an employee, and I gotta get this. I gotta get the screen. Okay, here you go. You can be an employee and start investing. While you're an employee, you can be investing. You can use the tools like Cash App and Robinhood and TD Ameritrade, and you can start investing. You become an investor. The earlier you start, the better. Okay. When you're a small business owner, you definitely need to be an investor, because there are huge tax savings by setting up certain types of accounts, investment retirement accounts, that will allow you to really avoid some taxes. So as a small business owner, here's one huge advantage to being an LLC or being a small business owner. You can actually fund your retirement. This is a big one right here, Smith, up to 25% of your income. Okay. So let's just say that you pay yourself $100,000 a year. You would normally have to pay taxes on the whole 100,000. But if you set up the proper type of retirement account, you can put $25,000 into that account and avoid paying taxes on that. And you only pay taxes on $75,000. Okay. Now, as an employee, you can only do that with an IRA, which is like $7,500, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. Maybe it's not even that much, but it's less than $10,000. Other than that, you have to pay tax on the full amount. So there's huge benefits to being a small business owner, and it gets even bigger with the big business owner. The bigger your business, the bigger your corporation, the more tax advantages there are. You know, we hear a lot of talk, and there's a lot of chatter out there about taxing the rich, and about the rich need to pay their fair share and things like that. And policy does change, but here's something you need to keep in mind. Rich people write the laws. It's always going to benefit the rich people. You know, whether that be the politicians or the people advising the politicians, someone is writing those laws based on what's most beneficial to them. Okay. So it's important to understand the tax laws, and it's important to understand that there's a lot of benefits to being a business and a big business. And my advice is to get in there and get all of it that you can. The more tax advantages that you have, the more of your money that you get to keep. That's why the LLC is very good, and that's why being incorporated is very good sometimes, according to your business. And then, of course, knowing which accounts you can set up as an employee, as a self-employed person, or as a big business owner, so that you can become an investor and start taking advantage of those tax savings. Now, if you are a big business owner, it is obvious that you're investing in your company, right? You reinvest. That's the number one thing to invest in, is reinvesting in yourself. That goes for not just a big business owner, but for all three, even all four. The number one thing you should be investing in is yourself. Okay. But once you have a surplus of money, sticking something over there into that investment account, whatever that is, and letting it grow, not touching it, buying it and holding it forever, and just keep buying more, you get more and more powerful. And did you know that you can have enough money, enough capital working for you that you don't even have to work? Now, this Robert Brooker, thank you for commenting. Let me ask you a question. I'll ask you, Smith, and anybody else that's listening that wants to answer this. How much money do you need so that you do not have to work anymore?
It's at least a couple 100,000.
A couple 100,000. Okay.
At least.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, that's for someone frugal, I'd say.
Well, you're a very frugal person.
Exactly.
Okay. So a frugal person like yourself, Smith. This right here is the most important part of this show. Most people have no idea how much money they need to live. If you ask anyone, would you like to have enough money so you never had to work again? Unequivocally, everyone would say yes. Now, you may still choose to work. You know, if you had $1 billion, you may still choose to work. But most people have never done the math. Smith, you did some math in your head right there. I want to give you props for that, because most people draw blank. Most people don't answer when I say, how much money do you need?
Right.
Okay. So you said 200,000.
I'd probably go around 240 to from 240 to 340,000, somewhere between there. I think would be
okay. Now, what are you going to do with that so that you don't have to work?
Set up a diversified dividend portfolio that'll pay me out about $1,200 or more a month, and then watch it grow.
Okay. So you know what? I totally think that's a terribly low number, but
right.
But my props to you for actually having thought it through. So you're the most frugal person I've ever met if you're going to live off of $1,200 a month. But that's okay. You've done the math. Most people have never done the math. How much money do you need? Smith, he nailed it right there. He said, what percent are you talking? What kind of return are you planning on getting to get that?
The average, I think the average I've worked out so far in what I have is like 0.0575. You know, so like 0.5% monthly. I'm working it out monthly to sort of factor it that way.
So about 6%.
Yes,
about 6%.
That's about right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you know what?
And that's some risky ones averaged with some safe ones, of course. I mean, that's how I really got that number.
Okay. Well, listen, kudos to you for doing the math. Most people have never done the math. I have a very good friend who makes a whole lot of money. We say about $150,000 a year. Okay. That's a lot of money to a lot of people. Okay. And he has dreams of being rich. And I asked him, have you done the math? He said, what do you mean? I said, how much money do you need? So, and he had no idea. You actually, to get your 1,200, you need 250,000. I think you need to 10x that and get you a couple million so that you can have a decent life. You don't want to be a miser, but anyway, you only need about $4 million to have how much? Okay, with a $4 million nest egg, based on your math, how much income could I create with that?
Let's see. I'm gonna bring out the calculator.
with
4 million.
4 million.
0.0575 times 4.
About 24,000 a month.
Yep.
Okay. So with $4 million, and that's very attainable.
Oh yeah.
You can create yourself a $24,000 per month income. Is that right? Is that math right, Smith?
Yes, sir.
Break it down real simple. 1 million, if you got 6%, would be 60,000.
60,000.
It'd be 60,000 a year.
A year, yes.
Yeah, that's a per year. Okay. What's 60,000 divided by 12?
12.
5,000.
Oh, I done that wrong. I've added in a
Supposed to
percentage.
be techie, Smith. I think that's 5,000. Somebody correct my math if I'm wrong.
No, you're probably right. I'm blocking my calculator with the player of us. Okay. Yeah, 12,000. That's it.
12,000?
12,000. Oh, I screwed it up again. 5,000.
5,000. Yeah.
So sorry.
So $1 million can give you $5,000 per month income. That would be a better target, Smith, for you. Okay. Because inflation, things are going to go up.
Right.
That $1,200 is not going to buy you very much. So with 2 million, you could have $10,000 a month income. That's getting pretty good. 4 million is 20,000. Okay. Most people can live on 20,000 a month.
Oh, yeah,
so to get there, you only need $4 million. So if you can live on $20,000 a month income, you need to focus on acquiring $4 million on just stuffing $4 million into an account. A safe account, something that is, because the number one rule of investing is to not lose money. And if you're speculating on Bitcoin and a lot of, Tesla and Apple and a bunch of these things that we're shooting to the moon, if you're speculating, you may turn 4 million into 2 million. So being safe is the number one thing you need to do. I would advise getting a professional
CPA.
Well, you got to have a CPA. That's for your taxes, though.
Right.
Like I have one of those. I have a very good CPA, but I also have an investment, a broker, stockbroker.
Yes.
So here's some very important people in your life: your mother, your wife, your children. Okay, your accountant, your banker, and your stockbroker. And number 4, your lawyer. That's the four most important people other than your family is your lawyer, your banker, your stockbroker, and your accountant. What do you think would be the next most important person in your life other than your family when it comes to business? Lawyer, banker, investment advisor, accountant. I would say that I don't have a rock. Those 4 are rock solid. That's a fact. It's my opinion. The next one would be your mentor. You need to have somebody that your business advisor. So, it looks like a lot of Robert Brooker comments there. Is that correct?
Yes.
Pick out one of the best ones and read it. And if there's anybody else that we have over there commented, we appreciate you guys watching today. We have a big surprise coming up either this week or next week with we got a new show that's going to come out. It's going to be really cool. By the way, if you're in sales and you would be interested in becoming a sales manager or a general manager, or if you want to go from sales to CEO, then just find my friend Louis Heron. He's on my friend request. He's on my friend list. Send him a message telling you're interested in sales to CEO. He's got some amazing content, and he's going to be on the show. We're actually going to do a show together. We're going to teach people how they can take it to the next level, step by step. The reason is he's done it all. He's been a salesperson. He's been a sales manager, a general manager, a dealer. He's on Toyota stores, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep stores. He's been a general manager of huge stores. Has some great information. Can't wait till that show comes out. So check out Louis Heron and let him know that I sent you over there. Let's read one of Robert Brooker's long messages, and then we'll wrap this show up, and we'll be ready tomorrow for another Sales Academy show.
Sure. I think maybe this will be funny. He was talking about diversifying his portfolio, and he was talking about crypto. So,
hey, let's read it for me.
Not just ANKR anymore, some ADA and REEF.
Is that some more cryptocurrencies?
Yes, he said, this was funny to me. Next year, taxes are going to be rather more complex, and I won't be doing them. I haven't done my own taxes since the early 90s.
I've never advised doing your own taxes. I definitely believe in that. I drew a blank there. I was going to say something. I had a Biden. I'm sorry. Say that.
He did say, I think this is one of the numbers we brought up. $4K a month will be plenty. Canadian. He said his rent is $14.50.
Yeah. 4K would be enough. I think you need 30K a month to retire. So that's something right there. When you're talking to your investment advisor, you need to have someone who understands your goals, because that's the most important. Someone like Smith that say, I'm not saying you would be thrilled, but if you set yourself up $4,000 a month retirement income, you'd be happy, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And I would be devastated.
Yeah, see, I'm as long as I got an amp, like a nice pedal board. After I buy those things, maybe buy me a new drum set, get my studio put together. I'm sort of sitting over here like, what do you think I'm gonna buy? I'm not gonna go out and buy a sports car. I'm not gonna go buy a big house. I don't really care about any of these things. I just want to go home and jam, man.
Yeah.
Make music, make videos, create content, keep the cash flow up.
But you're limited as to what I mean. That's cool. Right. If that's your spot, but like traveling, that's the one thing that takes money.
It's true.
Going to the Bahamas, going to Jamaica, seeing all the states. And there's a lot of value in flying your own aircraft. And that takes money too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's fine if you don't want those things. But why would you limit yourself if you could have those things? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, you make a good point.
Yeah. So it's important to have a financial advisor that can understand how to get you to $4,000 a month. It also can speak the language of, okay, this guy's trying to get $40,000 a month. Mm-hmm. It's a big difference. See, most retirement plans are based upon getting enough money and enough return so that when you die, you still have some of that nest egg left over. But they actually plan on using, let's just say that you plan on living to be 90 years old and you retire at 65 years old, right? Okay. So that's 25 years?
Yes.
All right. So 25, so if you need $4,000 a month income, they try to help you get enough money so that you can have $4,000 income while using up your principal. So if you live to be 95, you run out of money.
Right.
That's not how I want to roll. Mm-hmm. My goal is to have so much nest egg, so much capital at work, working for me as an investor. I want to have so much money working over here that the principal continues to grow and you can still spend $40,000 a month.
And another thing, I think you sort of just glanced on this. You don't want to put it somewhere where inflation is going to beat your returns, right? Like a little savings account with 0.5% annual. The
true inflation may be already 5 or 6%, and there's hardly anything's going to cover that. So that's a whole nother show, the inflation thing.
I guess so.
And now let me just warn you. CNBC is not that smart. They're just on there to get ratings. I wouldn't be taking advice from them. But let's just imagine that inflation. Let's just imagine that the principles that have governed markets for 5,000 years are still true today. Not saying they are. We definitely don't act like they are, since modern monetary theory is just to print more money, right? Let's just imagine that history proves to be true and that inflation is at play. If we could very easily see hyperinflation and your money would be worth very little compared to what it was, last year, last month, last week, even. If that happens, whoa, man, there's the way a lot of these retirement plans are set up are going to be just wrecked. And inflation is good when you're talking about owning real estate and the price of real estate goes up. We bought a house a couple years ago, if even that, and paid $163,000. Well, we're about to list that house for $200,000. Not saying we're going to get $200,000, but today's market, we're pretty sure we will, right? So that's a good thing because the cost of houses are going up. I bought a farm, I think it's $3,500 per acre. And I know I could sell that for $5,000 an acre right now. That's a good thing. But the cost of consumer goods, groceries, gas, all the things that it takes to live, that's a bad thing. And if that goes up 10% a year, that would be just astronomical and we could be in trouble. Then you want to make sure that you own things that go up as inflation goes up. So it's a tricky thing. Pick your stock broker wisely. Make sure that you become an investor. If you're an employee, start investing. If you're self-employed, start investing. If you're a business owner, start investing. And if you're an investor, keep investing. We're going to have a sales show tomorrow. We'll see you guys around 11 o'clock tomorrow. And then what about Wednesday?
We'll be having Winning Together with April B. Merritt.
April B. Merritt on Winning Together. What about Friday?
We will be having Feel Good Friday.
Can't wait. I'm going to actually be I think I'm going to be in the office for this Feel Good Friday. I don't know,
Awesome.
Smith. I may fire up the Baron and go south.
Who knows? Who knows what Billy may do on a Friday?
I know I'll be here tomorrow at 11 a.m. for another sales show.